on with Doug Collins, and here's the Chrysler Plymouth starting lineup. Some matchups for this game. Victor Alexander is not going to start. He has a foot that bothered him when he got up this morning.
Well, Gary, what it's going to do to the matchups, Chris Webber now is going to have to play against Shaquille O'Neal, so we'll have to watch the foul problems there. Jeff Gray will match up with Anderson, so they're really going three small players on the perimeter. And then you've got Billy Owens matched up against Jeff Turner. Billy Owens, if he tries to post, they're going to have to give Turner help.
The referees, Joe Forte, Terry Durham, and Tommy Wood. And if anybody can play small ball, it would be Don Nelson, right?
Exactly. In fact, that's what Don Nelson has tried to do through the years. He's tried to get you to match to his smaller lineup. But now with Orlando, they have excellent perimeter players. Look for them to go small also tonight. They have Anthony Bowie and Donald Royal on the bench, both excellent perimeter players.
Scotty Skiles, who's playing with a shoulder that has bothered him since he was really clobbered by Bill Lambier earlier. Shaquille O'Neal starts him out.
You just see the size differential. I mean, Chris Webber's a big guy, and Shaquille just took the ball right where he wanted to take it. He just took the easy jump shot.
Outside, Latrell Sprewell not able to get it. Rebound fought for. We have a loose ball foul. And the foul is going to go on Scott Skiles. So Scott Skiles, in disbelief, picks up the first foul of the ball game. Shaquille O'Neal came in here leading the NBA in scoring with a 29.8 average. Third in field goal percentage and first in blocks. Here's Billy Owens, who came back in the best shape of his life, and Owens hitting outside. They really need for him to step up tonight.
They really do. He's a young man that has a tremendous amount of talent. He's had a lot of knee problems, and he really almost missed a full year. So Don Nelson considers this his second full year in the league.
Played only 37 games. Jeff Turner has really been cold. He's 31% in the last 3 games. Going to pull the string on that one.
Yeah, when you start shooting poorly, many instances you try to guide it rather than to shoot it, and that's the early offense that Jeff Gray will give you on the fast break. So if you have equal numbers, speaking of Golden State, they'll look for the shot. If not, they'll pull it back, and they'll run some set offense, execute, use the clock.
So Greer, the last change in that starting lineup, gets one early. 4-2 in favor of Golden State. A little jump hook by Shaquille, rebound by Owens, and here they come. They'll try to get out, get the majority break going at every opportunity that they can. A kick in the corner to Sprewell. Sprewell's percentages are down. He's shooting 39%, but that's a 3, and he got that one.
Well, Don Nelson told us today he thinks this young man has a chance to lead the league in three-point shooting before his career is over.
Well, that was certainly indicative of that. 7-2, an early start for Golden State. Scott Skiles, a give and go to O'Neal, and Shaquille O'Neal is fouled.
Foul number 4, Chris Webber.
It's going to be on Chris Webber, and people wanted to see this matchup, and they got it right at the start. Chris Webber and Shaquille O'Neal. I don't think Don Nelson wants to have Webber getting into foul trouble early in this ball game.
No, you might see him come in with Byron Houston to just put his body up against him, double team him on catch. You know, Don Nelson's going to be creative, and no telling who all will play Shaquille tonight. But the one thing that they're going to have to do is try to take away his easy scores. He doesn't have the 18 fouls to commit against him, and Shaquille, not being a good free throw shooter, probably is going to get some easy baskets tonight because of it.
Chris Webber, the thing that has really surprised Don Nelson is his passing ability. At 6'10", able to handle it the way he does. Here's Avery Johnson, who directed John Lucas' San Antonio Spurs last year. Did a very good job after John Lucas took over as coach. Creating to Webber. Webber double pumping on O'Neal. Rebound is cleared effectively by Nick Anderson. Out it comes, stolen. Steal by Sprewell. Sprewell, who leads the NBA in minutes played. To Webber. Oh, is he fun to watch?
4-on-1 fast break here, a turnover, and this is what Orlando's had a problem with this year. Some careless passing and some turnovers, specifically at home, where they're trying to make the big play rather than the easy play.
Absolutely. They're averaging 17.4 turnovers a game, and 3 by Scott Skiles. Rebound is cleared by Anthony Hardaway, and Penny able to put it back up in there. This guy is getting better every week, every game. Hardaway has done some remarkable things. Sprewell, who last year was probably the steal of the draft. Scott Skiles precipitated all that trouble. Out of control, though, and the rebound by Owens, and here they come on the break. Avery Johnson all the way to the hole and challenged O'Neal. Jeff Turner with the rebound, and he is fouled. And it looks like Webber is down. He's had problems with a knee and with an ankle, along with an appendectomy, and this is not good for Golden State.
You know what? He jammed his foot. I was watching him the whole way. He went for the offensive rebound, and he came down and jammed his foot. And we'll have to see. He looks like he's in real pain. It didn't look like he twisted his ankle as much as he jammed it. Let's take a look now. It's I think it's his left foot. Right? Oh, I guess it's his...
Did he come down on
Maybe
Turner's
he
foot?
rolled it over, but he looks like he's in real pain. We'll have to see whether he can continue on tonight.
Boy, Don Nelson, he had an interesting statement the other day, and it's almost pathetic what he said. He said, you know, I must have done something terrible as a child to have all these injuries that have been creeping into our program the last 2 years. And it's good to see Chris Webber up and moving. You know, he hasn't been able to practice. They have not been able to teach Chris Webber because of all the injuries he's had.
He's getting battled through the games right now. And there he is with the offensive rebound. He goes up and he comes down. And I think he jammed his foot more than he rolled it there, because I did not see him step on anyone's foot. And Gary, a lot of times what will happen is you go up for a rebound and you step on someone's foot. That's how you severely sprain an ankle.
Golden State's 4 of 7 shooting wise. On the other hand, the Magic 2 of 6 in the early going, and they trail in this ball game 9-5. Nick Anderson kicks it back to Scott Skiles. Inside to Shaquille.
That ball was in the cylinder. That should have been offensive goaltending right there. You get a chance to see that later on, and that ball was in the cylinder. That should have been offensive interference.
You know, Scott Skiles is second in the NBA in assists. What an assist that is. 10.4 coming into this ball game. 8:30 to go in this first quarter. 9-7 in favor of Golden State. Owens can't get it. Rebound by Nick Anderson.
You can't get a better shot than that. A simple screen roll, and Shaquille just gave him the outside jump shot.
Anderson struggled. He's been moved to that small forward spot from a guard a year ago and hasn't really come together for him yet. They double on O'Neal, and we're going to have an illegal defense now, a warning against Golden State. Let's go back and look at that play. You were wondering if this wasn't offensive interference.
We'll see if the ball is in the cylinder when he touches this. Watch this right here. That's very, very close to being offensive goaltending. If that ball is in the cylinder, you cannot touch it till it clears.
Baseline it goes again to Shaquille. He is double, triple team. Ball batted away. Look at O'Neal go after the ball. Eventually coming up with his Billy Owens. Owens 3 on 1 and gives it to Webber. And I think Webber has recovered from that scary moment a while ago.
Look at Chris Webber's eyes. He has very intense eyes. When he made that play, he looked at Billy Owens. And you can see twice now they've looked for him on the transition break to get him some easy scores. They'd like to see him get off to a great start.
He has 4 points. Scott Skiles hits one. Speaking of starts, they worry about Shaquille O'Neal. He's been having some bronchial problems. He had 2 IVs of liquid put in his body just because he's been so dehydrated, and he has a lot of trouble early in the game.
A lot of them have struggled since coming back from London. They have not recovered from that long trip, as we see a sensational drive by Latrell Sprewell. So last year with all the injuries, they found Latrell Sprewell. Who will they find this year through all the injuries and adversity?
What a find he was. 24th pick in the first round.
I think it's a good sign right now for Orlando. Nick Anderson's hit a J. Scott Skiles has hit a jump shot. They're going to have to be able to make that shot, because you've seen early in the game, whenever the ball goes into Shaquille, 3 guys have been attacking him, and he's not going to be able to put it on the floor.
Nick Anderson led them in scoring against the Nets. The game they won Saturday had 25 points. Here's Owens, a 2 from the corner. Billy Owens, that sweet touch. He really can play 3 different positions on this team, a 2 or a 3 or 4, and he can cause some matchup problems for you.
If he makes his outside jump shot, he becomes a very tough defensive cover, because he can post you and he can drive the ball to the basket. One thing you've always been able to do is give him that perimeter shot.
I see that shot really got Anderson started, didn't it?
That's what happens, Gary. You get off the jumper, now you post him. He knows that Jeff Grayer cannot bother him inside, so he can just jump right over the top of him and get any look he wants to at the basket.
15-13 now. The Warriors with the lead. 6:20 to go in the first quarter. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
See how they're milking the clock now. Down to 7 seconds.
Owens knows he can't get that one up against Shaquille. Out it comes a 3 by Sprewell. You can see why Don Nelson feels he could lead the NBA in that department sometime.
See, I think you have to be very careful to lead perimeter shooters. There's no reason that anybody has to be double teamed down there. As you see the front by Chris Webber, no weak side help. I think what happens, Gary, is you start double teaming people that you don't have to double team, and then you free up other people for shots. They were in a great position down there. Force the man to take a tough shot.
Chris Webber tried to front Shaquille, but you mentioned he got no help defensively.
Right back to the screen roll.
There goes Owens flying through. Tough left-handed shot, and he got it, and we have a foul. So Billy Owens in the early going, off to a good start. 5-point lead for Golden State. Don Nelson about how do you stop Shaquille O'Neal?
You know, he is so powerful that I think if you front him, you're at a disadvantage. So you can't really front him. The lob is the easiest play for him in the world, and he can go way above the square. So he'll get any lob that's thrown to him. You got to make him, you know, score with moves, and then you kind of throw your double teams at him here and there and in different places, and try to keep him guessing, you know, where you're going to come from, or maybe not come at all, and just mix it up on him, try to confuse him.
Well, they didn't confuse him. They fronted him, and there's the easiest basket you can get, the lob. So I'm sure that Don Nelson talked to his team about Shaquille not fronting him, make him make a move to beat you. Now, you see Shaquille resting. He is weak, and what we talked to Brian Hill today, and he said, I have to rest him in the first quarter because he's been getting tired, as we see the offensive rebound there by Chris Webber. So right now, the early rest for Shaquille O'Neal is something that Brian Hill just has to do at this point in the season.
So Greg Kite comes in, picks up a foul. Shaquille O'Neal had picked up his first foul before he took a breather, and it's still a 5-point lead for Golden State. 5:30 to go in this first quarter. Hardaway, who had 15 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in the last game. Tipped out, Anderson saves it. Billy Owens really hustling on defense. And we're going to have a foul away from the ball. Joe Forte picking that one up is now Chris Gatling. No, it's going to be illegal defense. That's their second, so it'll be a technical. Chris Gatling now coming into the ball game. Gatling has been hurt. You can see his shooting hand, his left hand is wrapped. He has a dislocated knuckle on that hand, and that has slowed him. So who hasn't been hurt on this Golden State team?
Well, Chris Gatling gives them a very live body off the bench, a guy who can jumpstart their team. So Don Nelson likes to bring him off the bench, and he's had very good numbers over the last 4 ball games. So he's starting to round into shape now after his injury. Scott Skiles with that free throw. The next one he makes, he moves into 4th on the all-time list of free throw shooters because then he'll have enough attempts.
He moves ahead of Larry Bird is who he'll move ahead of. Nice move by Hardaway. You just see flashes of brilliance from this guy.
Well, what he's doing, he's starting to assert himself, and we'll show some numbers later on that Brian Hill had to sit down and talk to him about. Stop trying to fit into this team and start asserting yourself. We need big numbers out of you.
Well, Greg Kite has picked up 2 quick fouls in this ball game as he tries to reach in. Let's go back to Penny Hardaway, his move inside for the basket.
Well, he does a nice job, the up and under fake, and then he steps through nicely, gets a nice pivot foot, kisses the shot high off the glass. We know he can shoot the ball, we know he can pass it, so it's just a matter of time now of getting the experience and being able to piece that together within the framework of what Orlando wants to do.
Something you got to tell the guy, don't be so unselfish, and that's what's happened there. Rebound, Anderson's doing a good job on the defensive boards. That's 4 rebounds now for Nick Anderson.
You see Webber's resting now while Shaquille is resting, so Don Nelson realizes he needs him in there to match up with him.
Scott Skiles looked like he had a shot. He passed off. Hardaway tries to get it there. Rebound by Owens. He may have overpassed on that one. They didn't collapse inside on him. Here's Owens off to Avery Johnson, and Avery has been shooting the ball very well for this team. He's averaging over 10 points a game, way up above what he had last year for the Spurs at 8.7.
Well, he's one of those guys that has to prove it every night because normally he's the guy they lay off of and make them shoot the outside jump shot. Now there's the shot that Hardaway has to make right there. Tough shot trying to bank that ball off the glass.
And Nick Anderson with a foul over the back. You know, you go back to a guy like Avery Johnson. What a pickup he was. He wanted to stay in San Antonio. He's playing for a minimum wage, and he wanted to go to 7 figures. They laughed at him, so he shopped around, and he's making more money now with Golden State. Avery Johnson, he's bounced around the league. Out to Billy Owens. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Owens with a nice leaner. Rebound is cleared by Hardaway. This guy is 6'7". He weighs in at 195 pounds. Came out after his junior year at Memphis State. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Scott Skiles will take it in. Dishes off again. Turner from the left-hand corner, and that will help him because he has really been struggling shooting the ball. He was 7 of 8 against Utah, and in the last 3 games, 31%. Sprewell into Owens. Owens working very hard off the ball.
So they leave Sprewell. He already has 2 threes. Now you run at him, and he takes the ball past you for the layup. So it's what happens now when you establish yourself by shooting the outside shot. Guys run at you, now you can take the ball past them on the drive.
Hear the crowd there, people getting tangled up, and now Gatling goes after Greg Kite and wrestles him down, and then Kite hit his head on a camera. But what brought that all about, Doug, is at the other end, they were tangled up. Kite and Chris Gatling, and then Gatling down at the other end commits a foul, and the crowd not very happy right now. Boy, Kite hit his head pretty hard on a camera over the end line. Have a timeout here with 2:57 to go in this first quarter. 24-20, Golden State with the lead.
Tigers lead 24-20. You're going to see the drive by Latrell Sprewell. He and Greg Kite collide a little bit here. They go down. Latrell Sprewell gets upset, and he kicks at Greg Kite. So now we follow it up with the action as we go to the other end, and you're going to see Kite and Gatling get hung up with each other. They throw him down. Gatling throws down Kite right here. He hits his head on the back of the camera. It's a two-shot foul, not flagrant, just a two-shot foul. So things starting to heat up a little bit here as Greg Kite is starting to throw himself around in the middle.
Kite misses the first free throw. First foul on Chris Gatling, and he misses the second. And we may have a lane violation here.
Yeah, the shooter crossed. Kite crossed the line before the ball hit the rim.
Almost didn't get to the rim. 24-20. Neither of these teams are good free throw shooting teams. Golden State is last in the NBA at 66%, and 22nd in the league is Orlando.
And that's what costs you close ball games too. That's the one knock on Orlando right now, is if they do get into a lot of close games, can they make the free throws down the stretch to win in very tough fourth quarter circumstances, especially on the road.
It's been Sprewell leading the way for Golden State. He has 10 points, 4 of 5 from the field. He has 10 of the 24. Jeff Grayer, who used to play for the Milwaukee Bucks, they picked him up as a free agent. He rolls up and doesn't get it, followed by Gatling. Now Gatling, you can see the energy that he brings into the game.
Oh, he's got great lift. He can really jump, and you've got to put a body on him and check him out. He's matched up against Shaquille now, so if Shaquille will take his time, he can get great low post position.
Turner starting because Larry Kostoyak is out with a stress reaction to his foot, followed by Hardaway. Doesn't get either one of them. Here comes Owens out. A 3-on-2 to Gatling, and Gatling, out of control, and he hits hard as he collides with Nick Anderson.
Well, he was flipped, and he hit his head.
They're going to call a foul evidently on Nick Anderson, but boy, did Gatling take a shot when he went down.
Gary, his head really hit the floor.
They're going to call it on Scott Skiles, not Anderson. Scott Skiles can't believe it. He's arguing.
Here's the play. Billy Owens is going to drop the ball off. Oh, wow.
Man.
Oh, wow.
Just no break on the fall at all. Well, we're going to take a break here, and we have a lot of bodies falling and hitting hard. We'll be back in a moment.
On November 26th, you will witness a rare astrological phenomenon. Cartoon meteors will pass through our solar system, causing a realignment of the planets. The effect will be seen worldwide on TBS, TNT, and the Cartoon Network, with cartoons all day for people around the world. Tune in to TNT for 12 straight hours of the biggest names in tunes. TNT's All-Stars, an all-day event with an all-star lineup. The Great International Tune-In, this Friday. What? Oh, guard dog. Oh, very scary. Wow. Finally, the good stuff.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Gary Bender, Doug Collins, 2:07 to go in this first quarter. Golden State leading it by 6, 26-20. And a moment ago, Chris Gatling hitting his head on the floor. He was fouled by Scott Skiles as he moves in. We're going to go back and look at it again.
We see the delivery, and I think right there they call the reach in. There was the foul was committed. Anderson was in pretty good position, but watch the head of Chris Gatling hit the floor. Very fortunate he did not get seriously injured, so he'll be at the line shooting 2 free throws. And at this point in time, Gary, you have to like the tempo of this game for Golden State. They're running when the opportunity is there. When it's not, they're pulling it back out. They're running screen roll. They're involving Shaquille in screen roll, so they're being able to get any shot they want off the pick and roll. So Orlando's going to have to make some adjustments here defensively. Dennis Scott checking into the game. So expect now the Magic to go to him and try to get him going offensively. They like to run a few plays and get him quick early shots to get him shooting. We talked to Brian Hill today, and he says, as Dennis Scott shoots, so goes the Magic.
And he has a new role as 6th man as Gatling, after that collision, misses both. I'm Gary Bender along with Doug Collins. We have 2 minutes left in this first quarter.
Now we're
Golden State with a 26-20 lead. The Magic with a basketball. Anderson, who hit a couple early in this game. Turner, the follow away. Good ball movement that time. Anderson spotting the open Jeff Turner. 4 points for Turner.
This is the perimeter team that many people felt we'd see with the Magic to start the season. Hardaway is a point guard. Anderson and Dennis Scott now on the floor together.
Sprewell, who has missed only one shot in this ball game. He is 5 of 6. We understand we're having some video problems in Atlanta. Stay with us, and we'll correct those just as soon as possible. And it goes to Anderson. Nice spin move. As Nick Anderson on the spin move, so we'll pick up a radio call right now, Doug Collins, as we go on to the 1:15 mark of this first quarter. Avery Johnson at the top of the circle on the dribble. He's it out to Billy Owens to the left-hand side. Hardaway goes for a steal on the pass to Johnson. From the corner is Chris Gatling. Rebound is cleared by Dennis Scott. Scott kicks it off to Hardaway, and Hardaway will bring it across the time stripe. Off it comes now to Turner. Turner from outside. Rebound is cleared by Sprewell. Latrell Sprewell, who's been the big offensive weapon for Golden State here in the first quarter. He kicks it back out to Billy Owens. He drives down the lane, a running one-hander off the glass and in.
Well, Billy Owens playing very well in the first quarter. You can see his versatility, and again, when he makes that jump shot, you've got to respect it. Now you go to play him, and he can put it on the floor and create his own shot. So very versatile game now being played by Billy Owens. 8
points for Billy Owens, 5 assists. Anthony Hardaway dribbling, goes into the lane, puts it up, underhanded, no good. Shaquille tries to come up with the rebound, deflected out of bounds, and it will be Golden State's basketball. Shaquille taken out early this quarter due to the fact he's had some bronchial problems, and he really has some problems with dehydration, but he's back into the ball game now in the last 23 seconds of the quarter. Avery Johnson now on a walking dribble, comes across the timeline. He hands it off to Sprewell. There's 2 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and there's 10 seconds on the shot clock right now. Sprewell on the left lane to Avery Johnson. Give and go to Chris Gatling. He goes in and he is fouled. Gatling, the energizer, is what they call him on this team, and he is playing awfully hard in this game.
Golden State is playing very well right now. They're really taking advantage of their opportunities, and what they're doing, Gary, is they're finding areas they can attack, and they're getting Shaquille O'Neal involved in the plays a lot rather than getting him into isolation. They're getting him involved in the play, and what they're doing is they're pulling him now away from the basket as he goes out to challenge. Now when you go to the basket, there's no shot blocker.
So Gatling, who missed 2 free throws a while ago, seemingly has gotten the cobwebs out of his head as he hits this free throw. That foul was on Jeff Turner, his first, and now Judd Bushler will come into the ball game and give Owens a quick breather with 5.7 seconds left in this quarter. Don Nelson forced tonight to start Jeff Greer because Victor Alexander has a foot problem. As an end result, he's at center. So Gatling's second free throw is on the way, and it's also good, and it's a 32-24 lead for Golden State. And now we understand we have the video back as Anderson with a last gasp here at the end of the first quarter. Latrell Sprewell with a very fine first quarter. 12 points. He missed only 1 shot in that first quarter of play. 32-24. We played 12 at the Orlando Arena.
We're gonna have to bail.
What about the Bud Light?
No time. There's only one left. You take it. I'll never forget you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
It's all mine.
Hi, everybody.
Dave, we're all worried.
About what?
You haven't ordered your holiday ham from my store.
Or the cookies I made for you.
Or your turkey.
Or your eggnog. Or your fruitcake. Yeah, what gives?
Nothing. Wendy's is making a new Big Bacon Classic Combo.
Oh.
It's a quarter pound of fresh beef, 3 strips of bacon, and the works with biggie fries and a cold drink. So this holiday, save your appetite.
And I thought you forgot my prune tart.
Who could forget that?
Try Wendy's Big Bacon Classic Combo today.
Look, keeps time, and it grates cheese.
While some watchmakers brag about their new inventions,
it is a stopwatch and mousetrap.
Loris makes practical watches, like the Loris Vector series. Rugged, precision timepieces, equipped with their own direction finders, so you'll always know where you're headed. So forget it.
The new Breath Spray 9000. Quartz accuracy never tasted this good.
Find your way with a Vector from Loris.
Rimology by Shaquille O'Neal.
The engineers
worked the numbers. They figured and refigured. They said it was indestructible. They said it was Shaq-proof. Maybe they should check their math.
Golden State with a surprising 32-24 lead as Shaquille O'Neal in that first quarter had to come out, but 7 points and no rebounds.
Well, that's what we talked about, the hole that's in the middle right now. The power forward position, Larry Krystkowiak out with a stress reaction in his foot. Jeff Turner not a rebounder. They try to go Greg Kite and Shaquille a little bit together, but you can't really do that right now because Shaquille is getting tired, so they have to use Kite to rest him. So right now, the Magic are going to have to make an effort to get up and rebound. You're seeing right now the screen roll also. They're involving Shaquille in the screen roll, making him show up very big. And now he goes back and you get the score. So they're very smart now in involving him in all these pick and roll plays. They're not handling it very well.
Biggest lead of the game, 10 points. Avery Johnson just followed him right down the middle and laid it up. Here's Dennis Scott. You know they don't want him to get started. He hits those shots early. It really gets him going. Hardaway, a leaner inside, and he's fouled. Avery Johnson collapsing back and committing the foul.
Gary, let's take a look here now. If you're going to run screen roll, now Shaquille shows up, all right? Now he's going to leave, and Anthony Hardaway does not get over on his left hand. Avery Johnson is a lefty, so he takes the ball right to the basket, uncontested. And those are the kind of baskets that you can't give Avery Johnson. You must make him make outside jump shots.
You know, Anthony Hardaway has really felt a lot of pressure playing at home. He's played better on the road, which is kind of interesting.
Well, I think he relaxes more. I think he feels the expectations. Now he's 2 for 8 tonight from the floor, 0 for 2 from the free throw line, so he's not shooting well.
Sprewell missing only his second shot. Shaquille O'Neal comes down to the rebound now. For the game, Golden State's 2 of 5 from the line. Orlando's 2 of 6, but neither team is a good free throw shooting team, so you kind of expect that. Judd Buechler going for the save, but he was out of bounds. It'll be the Magic's basketball with 11-12 to go in the second quarter. Good hustle by Buechler.
Right now, Golden State is out hustling the Magic. They're getting the loose balls. They're working harder on the boards. They're executing. The Magic right now a little bit out of a sync, but again, you have Penny Hardaway at the point guard position, and he's just now getting comfortable trying to run that spot.
Golden State in that first quarter, Doug, had only 1 turnover. Shaquille O'Neal, nice spin move. Bottle tip by Turner. We have a loose ball foul, and Jeff Turner was over the back.
I mean, look at the size of this team right now that Golden State has in the floor. You have Buechler, Grayer, Avery Johnson, Sprewell, and Chris Gatling. You really have 2 forwards and 3 guards on the floor right now. Chris Gatling's trying to play against Shaquille O'Neal. Just needs to take his time, get good post position, and then go up strong and take his shot. This is where he has to punish the front line of Golden State.
Anthony Bowie now has checked into the ball game for Orlando. He's a very good defensive player, and Hardaway's having a tough time with that left hand of Johnson. He went by him again, reached in and committed the foul.
That high screen roll is causing them all kinds of problems. Shaquille and Hardaway must really communicate with each other because Don Nelson's the kind of coach, he's going to stay with it until you stop it.
You know, this is the kind of game Don Nelson loves. He knows he's shorthanded. He knows he's playing, really looking upstream or swimming upstream, and he just is right now masterfully kind of holding this game where he wants it. Here's Gatling. That's a tough shot, but he got it anyway.
See the isolation now. Gatling's going to take Shaquille out on the floor, so if he's going to play out there on the floor, you've got to punish them inside. So they've got to go to Shaquille. He's got to take his time and either create a shot for himself or one of his teammates.
12-point lead, and so pushing inside. Gatling tangled up with Shaquille O'Neal, and Gatling commits the foul.
His first and second team foul.
Well, look at the injuries right now. Hardaway out for the season, Marciulionis, Mullen out indefinitely, Weber, Owens, and Alexander all playing with injuries. So right now, this is a patched-up Golden State team that has played very well here.
Don Nelson's using that to his advantage. Shaquille misses a shot and then has a jump ball. Shaquille has had some shots inside. He just isn't getting anything to go for him right now. He is 3 of 5 from the field. He has 7 points in the game as Billy Owens comes back in and Jeff Grayer will leave.
Shaquille was just fined $5,000 for the league for some derogatory comments he made after the Detroit game about the refereeing. So he's not been happy the last few games. Has not shot the free throws that he thinks he should have shot.
And if Scott doesn't hit the first one, and you want to keep track of that, because if he doesn't hit 2 or 3 early, that really can take him out of his game. Owens, he is fouled. Reaching in that time and committing the foul was Donald Royal, who's checked into the ball game. So Brian Hill trying somehow to find the right combination right now. That gives us an opportunity to look ahead to next Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. The Suns go against the Bulls as the old NBA Finals revisited. Bob Neal and Hubie Brown will be bringing you all the action from the Windy City.
It'll be Scottie Pippen will be back for that game. He's been on the injured list for Chicago, as has Scott Williams and John Paxson. Bulls now on a West Coast trip, playing at Houston tonight, San Antonio, and then at Dallas, and come home and get Phoenix and get to go to Miami. So it's not going to be an easy trip for Chicago once they get home.
I'll tell you, as they miss the second free throw, this Orlando team has been stuck on 24 for a long time. That's what they had at the end of the first quarter. We have 9:56 left in the second quarter. 37-24, and Shaquille runs over Gatling and commits a foul. So Gatling fouled him earlier. O'Neal this time, the big body that he is, 7'1", 300 and some pounds, just ran over him.
Getting very frustrated right now. Shaquille realizes he has the overmatch, but he can't get the ball where he wants it.
That's his second foul. Scott Skiles will come into the ball game. Hardaway will check out. So it's Skiles and Scott and Royal, O'Neal, and Anthony Bowie for Brian Hill. Brian Hill in his first year of coaching, the second coach in the history of this 5-year-old franchise. What do you tell Stan? Not sleeping very much.
Yeah, that's the life of a head coach. Mr. Jennings into the game now, giving Avery Johnson a little bit of a rest.
Sprewell from outside, and rebound by Scott Skiles. Up it comes to Donald Royal. Boy, this guy can finish well. He loves to take it inside, and that shot will not go. Rebound by Sprewell. He almost traveled with it. Comes out of there. Boy, he is quick. Off to Jennings. Jennings coming back from a severe knee injury of a year ago. Sprewell ducks inside, changes it, and the rebound by Royal. Good save by Donald Royal. Scott trying to take it inside to Shaquille. Gatling trying to hold him out. Doesn't get it. Rebound is cleared, and here they come again. Sprewell, nice behind the back. Beautiful pass to Gatling. Boy, you have to like Latrell Sprewell. He does so many things well for this Golden State team. And timeout is going to be called now by Orlando, and they are stunned.
Gary, let me show you what happens on this play. Shaquille O'Neal is frustrated. He's going to dive. Watch this. He misses the shot. Keep your eye on Shaquille O'Neal. Instead of getting back, look what he does. He goes for the steal. Now you've got numbers, 3-on-2. It results in a layup for Chris Gatling.
Most car owners praise the quality of their purchases. But only one car line has been ranked best overall in initial quality by J.D. Power and Associates. Lexus. So the question isn't whether you put your car on a pedestal, but how often. And the Lexus LS is thousands less than the leading European competition at your Lexus dealer.
I didn't seem to see too much savings.
But I do remember them telling me that I had made a great choice, but it just didn't work for me.
I guess I had to learn the hard way.
If you spend $40 a month and belong to MCI's Friends and Family with Basic or Primetime, you could save more with AT&T. Save 25% off our basic prices on calls to your favorite area code and 15% off calls everywhere else anytime. Great prices, another part of the iPlan. Switch now, it's free. Just call 1-800-822-4500.
Service is a big feature with me.
Service is the key. I switched back to AT&T. Had the service that they're obviously known for. So I went back to AT&T.
I just really wasn't that happy with it, so I switched back for free.
AT&T's the only choice.
I can't go wrong with AT&T.
Prices that could beat MCI's most common Friends and Family plans, plus the best customer service. I is for individual. It's why so many people are switching to AT&T.
Golden State on an 11-0 run, and Orlando has not scored in the second quarter. There's Brian Hill, who was Matty Gukas' assistant for 3 years. 4 years in Atlanta was Mike Fratello's assistant, a Mike Fratello disciple, so to speak. And he's the guy who said, my mind won't shut off at night. I can't go to sleep.
Gary, when you look right now at the Magic team, Brian Hill's trying to mix and match to get something going. He's got Royal in the game now with Bowie. He's got Skiles back in the game, Dennis Scott and Shaquille, hoping maybe Bowie and Donald Royal can energize this team and get them something going to the basket, something easy.
Sprewell, excuse me, Doug, almost committed the foul here. They've missed 8 shots in a row. That one is blocked by Weber. Donald Royal tries it again in the foul. I think Weber thought he was in lane 3 seconds. Instead, Chris Weber picks up the personal foul, and that will be his second. Make that his third foul on Weber. So Weber now with 3 fouls, and Don Nelson's got to have to make a decision here at the 8:36 mark. At the line will be Donald Royal. This crowd's very quiet and a little angry right now because Orlando just hasn't gotten anything going.
Well, you know what they're doing? They're searching for a personality and a character right now. Speaking of Orlando, they're not really sure where they can go now, where they can get their points. They know they can go into Shaquille, but he's got to be a little bit more patient, create some opportunities. You know, Brian said this is a very young team. My 2 best players, one's a rookie, the other one's a second-year player, so it's going to take a little bit of time. So it's a 5-4 team right now. Still plenty of time. They just have to get their defense geared up because right now Golden State's picking them apart.
Donald Royal's seen a lot of playing time. He was out early in the year because of pneumonia, lost 7 pounds and really lost his conditioning. Here is Mr. Jennings, Keith Jennings, ducking inside, bringing it out. He's 5'7", wonderful guy to visit with. What a personality he has. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Weber has to try a long distance one. And Judd Bushler comes up with a hustle play out to Jennings, and Jennings hits a 3.
Well, that's worth 3 points to your team. Remember I said they were getting the hustle plays, the loose balls, all the things around the basket. Right now, this Magic team is just a step behind Golden State and everything they're doing.
Wow, are they ever. Just good hustle that time. Here is Scott Skiles, having a little trouble tracking it down. 9 seconds on the shot clock. They haven't gotten into their offense yet. Then it comes to Shaquille. They double on him. Wide open now is Bowie, and Bowie hits it.
That was a great pass by Shaquille. The rotation by Golden State took away the pass to the top. He jumped up and just threw it cross court. Bowie with a nice little jump shot.
That's the first field goal of the second quarter for Orlando.
See, here's the screen roll again. They're going to involve Shaquille. Let's see how he plays it this time. He shows up big. Does a nice job that time.
Bushler kicks it out. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Sprewell, and Sprewell with a 2. Wow, I tell you, Sprewell is very impressive. I watched him last year, but he's even better. You can see what he's improved since the offseason and the start of this year.
That's what minutes will do for you on the...
Oh! Look out.
Wow, what a sensational play by Shaquille O'Neal.
Sprewell almost got hammered underneath, standing under the basket. O'Neal now has 9 points in the ball game.
Well, he has 4 field goals, and 2 of them are alley-oop dunks.
Weber now trying to go inside. He's got to be careful with those 3 fouls. Little jump hook, not there. Rebound clear by Royal. Crowd trying to somehow get the Magic going. Out it comes. They run out of Dennis Scott. He's going to try a 3, and look out.
You can't leave him. You got to identify him all the time.
Running out is Bushler, and with another hustle play, gets the basket at the other end.
See, that's where Scott Skiles has got to protect back. He's your point guard. Dennis Scott makes the 3. His man just releases and goes, and Skiles has got to rotate back and take away that long pass.
Bushler hasn't played all that much. The former University of Arizona standout, and there's an illegal defense. So they'll be shooting a technical again. 3rd time they've called it, as Gatling now will come back into the ball game for Golden State, and Weber, they'll have to get him out of there with those 3 fouls.
Well, there's the alley-oop. You saw 2 guys in front of Shaquille. They had great position, but just not enough size. And there is Scott Skiles' second free throw, so that moves him into the 4th on the all-time list in terms of free throw shooting in the NBA.
Head of Larry Bird, and to follow number 1, who is Mark Price, and then Rick Barry, I understand. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Doug Collins and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. 46-34, Golden State. Shaquille has 1 field goal in the last 11 minutes.
And that's a dunk.
Backing in on Gatling, and pretty nice. That's unstoppable. Get it in that low.
But you can see they didn't double team him that time. They double team him sometimes. They let him put it on the floor, and then they go get him. They double team him on catch. So as Don Nelson talked to us in the opening, they're trying to mix it up and confuse him, not let him get geared into what they're trying to do.
Owens just lost the ball, and now you sense a little bit of a push now by the Magic. Down by 10, 46-36. That is only the second turnover against Golden State.
The surprising thing is Golden State has 46 points. They're averaging 96 on the season. So this is not a team that's going to throw up a lot of points. So if Golden State goes through a little bit of a cold period, Orlando can get right back into this game.
There's Scott, and he can shoot you back in it. That's a 2, and Dennis Scott can change the course of a game in a hurry. 46-38. 5:15 to go till halftime.
There's the high screen roll again, trying to get Shaquille involved.
And they've got him out there. 7-1 against 5-7. Shaquille reached in. Third turnover. Dennis Scott to Bowie. And here comes the Magic now. They've cut it to 6. Their spacing now. Try to get this offense going once again.
Little isolation for Sprewell. He wants to take Bowie off the dribble.
Orlando on a 12-2 run. Sprewell, the difficult shot, doesn't get it. Owens tracks it down. They're getting all the loose balls.
Exactly. That's what we talked about. The little hustle plays, and it gives you another opportunity.
And there's a charge on Bushler, who tried to rebound and follow his own shot inside, and he's committed his second foul. Jeff Grayer now will come into the ball game for Golden State, and Bushler will check out.
This is the play that Shaquille made against Mr. Jennings. He placed him all the way to the basket, reaches in and knocks it away. So the pick and roll that was really hurting the Magic, now Shaquille doing a much better job defending it.
Skiles, he didn't get this one. A little too long that time, but very close. Shaquille thought he was bumped on the play. How could you not bump him? There's not so much body there, as then Royal fouls Jennings on the move up the floor. That is the second foul on Donald Royal.
Boy, they love
the penalty situation.
They love the alley-oop here to Shaquille. That's an air ball on a dunk. I wonder if that is considered a shot or a turnover, because he did not hit the rim with that.
Keith Jennings will go to the line. This guy played 1 year in Germany, and Don Nelson invited him to their summer camp. He blew his knee out in the 8th game last year, and had an outstanding preseason, then kind of faded a little bit, but has come on now and has played very well as of late.
I tell you, the one thing that the Warriors the 3 letters that the Warriors hate to hear now is ACL. That's anterior cruciate ligament. Jennings last year, Marshallonis, Hardaway, Jeff Grayer has a bad knee. I mean, they have had all sorts of knee problems.
Just been devastated. You talk about being injury riddled. Then it comes to O'Neal. 3:57 left in the quarter. Gatling tries to flop, and it doesn't work. And Shaquille stares down at him, and he has now cut this to 6 once again.
See, you really can't take that flop like that on Shaquille, because if you don't get the call, he's going to get the dunk. You've got to stay up. You've got to try to take his dunk out of the game. I don't remember him making one shot tonight. Most everything has been a dunk.
He has 13 points. Owens retrieves it, has to get it back outside. 4 seconds on the shot clock. 2, Gatling from the corner. Shaquille with the rebound, and it's stolen by Sprewell. Sprewell will challenge Shaquille.
Shaquille got away with a foul right there. He put his arms and pushed him.
But can you believe the hustle? There's another example. They steal the pass, come back, miss the shot, and Gatling follows. Delay a game warning now against Golden State.
Gary, watch Shaquille on this play now. On the guy falls down, and he takes it right to the basket. It's a clear giveaway right there. Then you had to play the other end, where he actually got a push away with Sprewell. And then the follow-up play. So again, the great hustle by Golden State is just keeping them with the lead.
They have 13 points on second chance points. Nice move by Anthony Bowie. He hasn't been getting very many minutes.
See, he's really their third guy now on the perimeter when you talk about Donald Royal coming in and Dennis Scott off the bench. So he really is the third guy, and the guy who really last year had a sensational year, Hardaway, is really taking his minutes away.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Grayer on a running one-hander. Dennis Scott got him, and that shot will count. Chance for a three-point play. Nice effort that time by Grayer, hanging in midair. And we have a timeout called by Golden State. 2:46 left to go in this first half. Hustle of Golden State.
They've been hungry for every loose ball, and fortunately for Orlando, you've had Anthony Bowie come in and Dennis Scott, and they've sort of given them a lift as they've made 8 of their last 9 shots. They're just going to have to be a little bit more patient. When you play against Golden State, they try to get you to scramble the game and play out of your rhythm, and they've done that in the first half. So what they have to do is just take a little step back, take a little more time. They can get any shot they want because they have them overpowered inside.
You wanted to know about the offensive rebounds. Golden State has 6. Orlando with 4 thus far.
Well, we know that Shaquille did not have 1 rebound the entire, first quarter, and this is a guy who was second in the NBA last year. But his rebounding, as we've talked about, has been down. His scoring has been up, but his rebounding is down. And without that power forward in there to rebound, they need him to really be a big-time defensive rebounder.
So that always broaches the subject. Maybe they should have kept Chris Webber.
Well, Chris Webber's sitting over there with 3 fouls right now. So
here's Shaquille with a little pressure on him. 53-44 now. Golden State with the advantage. Coming up to 2.5 minutes left in the first half.
He just dropped the ball inside to Shaquille and just let him take his time. And there's no way Gatling can stop him. He doesn't have to put it on the floor. Just go right up and take your shot.
And we're going to have a pushing foul on Gatling. So Chris Gatling, who's replaced Chris Webber, who has 3 fouls, has committed his second. Coming up at halftime, the Reebok Halftime Report. Craig Sager in our Atlanta studios. Highlights and bonus coverage featuring some games of the Bulls and Rockets, Hornets, Bullets, Lakers, and Hawks. Hornets leading the NBA in scoring and also tied for first in field goal percentage. And they try to go to Shaquille again. And it's going to be Gatling again, I believe. That'll be his 3rd.
I don't think I've ever seen an NBA player go for as many lobs as Shaquille. They look to lob the ball to him almost at every play. He's rolling off the defense and trying to get behind. I think when you play him, Gary, you have to play behind him and force him to catch everything going away from the basket, not let him turn and rotate back to the basket. And if he catches it, make him shoot a shot or make a move against you. You see the numbers, 11th in rebounding, down from 2nd, but again, 1st in points, 1st in blocks, and 3rd in field goal percentage. And his free throw shooting will get better. He's changed his whole shot, and although the numbers don't support it right now, it will get better.
Yep, I agree with you, and that's they had the shot doctor come in.
Yeah,
and
Buzzy Brayman, our man from Philadelphia. So
changed it all, and even though he's only shooting 57%, that will start to take care of itself. 2:07 left now in this first half. Sprewell, who was hot early, has been quieted down, makes a move. Shaquille with a block. He leads the NBA in blocks with 4.22 a game. Scott with a 3. Shaquille tries to keep it alive, and he does. Nice pass to Donald Royal, spin move, and he's fouled by Gatling. That foul a moment ago was not on Gatling. They gave it instead to Sprewell, so now that will be the 3rd foul on Gatling.
See, block shots are devastating. You see Sprewell going to the basket. Shaquille, this energizes his team. He takes away the score, and now they get out on the break. And although Dennis Scott misses the 3, Shaquille now gets down. He gets the offensive rebound, finds Donald Royal, who gets to the free throw line. So now the hustle plays and the energy level starting to pick up for the Magic. And I think you've got to give Royal, Bowie, and Dennis Scott a lot of credit because they've come off the bench and done a real nice job.
Well, Royal has 3 rebounds. And now a guy we didn't expect to see tonight, Doug, Victor Alexander comes in. Now, he woke up this morning with a lot of pain in the foot, and they didn't think he would be able to go. They did not start him, but here he is, and we'll see how well he will fare.
Well, you can see on his left ankle, he almost has like a rubber sleeve to try to warm his foot up. So obviously he's having some stiffness in that ankle. We'll see if he can run up and down the floor.
He could not run at all at the shoot-around this morning, and so they had a game-time decision to instead start Webber at center and Greer at the forward. Minute 35 now left in the half. Jennings, quick turnaround jumper. O'Neal with another rebound. Shaquille now with 5 rebounds.
Good decision here by Shaquille.
Scott with another 3, and he is now 2 for 5 shooting tonight.
Long shots, long rebounds. The Golden State guards must clean those long boards up.
And Alexander tries to keep Shaquille outside. He hits it. Shaquille thought he should have gotten a foul, and it's now a 3-point game.
That's the shot you've got to make Shaquille make, though. The fading jump shot. If he misses it, he's out of the rebound position.
He has 17 points. Bullet pass to Greer. The leaner not there. Rebound by Dennis Scott. Out it comes to Bowie.
Guess
Bowie
what?
to Shaquille.
Another alley-oop. That's got to be at least 4 or 5 in this game. Dunks just by running the floor and getting the alley-oop.
19 points for Shaquille. He is 8 of 13 for the field. Also 6 rebounds.
And breathing heavily right now.
Yep. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Jennings ducks inside in trouble, and he is fouled. Shaquille tried to keep from landing on top of him. It's going to be on Shaquille. That's his third.
Well, Shaquille with a nice spinning jump shot, the possession before the dunk. And let's listen to the power of the alley-oop.
Well, he led the league in rim wrecking as well as dunks last year. And he will again this year, the way he's going.
Now let's keep our eye on that third foul from Shaquille. That could be very important because as we start the third quarter, Webber will be back and they'll probably be matched up against each other. And if he gets his fourth, that little foul right there against Mr. Jennings could be very, very costly. Smallest player on the floor, and Shaquille picks up his third foul trying to block his shot.
Jennings hit
away from the basket. And this is his third alley-oop slam. So I said, I've never seen a team lob more to a guy than Shaquille O'Neal. 5 dunks out of his 8 field goals, but he came to life in the second quarter, especially with his 6 rebounds.
Well, on top of that, he got both Gatling and Webber in foul trouble. They both came up with 3 each. They tried Victor Alexander late in the first half. Be interesting to see if he can continue. He didn't look very good. He looked like he was really in some pain with the foot that he woke up having the difficulty this morning.
You might have to see them go to Byron Houston, and he's a much smaller player, but he has a very strong body. With Webber having 3 fouls and Gatling having 3 fouls, you know, Don Nelson, when he was in Milwaukee, used to have 3 big guys, and he had 18 fouls that he would waste in the post. His team perennially gave up the most free throws in the NBA because he didn't give up easy baskets. He's never had this luxury in Golden State because he has such a small front line.
Yep. Well, Don Nelson having to do a lot of different things due to all the injuries to Marciulionis and Hardaway. He hopes to have Chris Mullin back after this road trip.
And you know what? And give Brian Hill a lot of credit in that second quarter for going to his bench, realizing that he had some energy-producing players there, and they came in and really stemmed the tide and got Orlando back into this game.
So as you look at the lineups, we have the same 5 that opened the ball game for both ball clubs. Sprewell, who started well, tries to start the second half. Turner keeps it alive, and Grayer with a nice basket inside, and he is fouled.
Remember what Brian Hill told us today? He said, Doug, the third quarter has been problems for us this year. We've come out and we've struggled. We have not had good third periods. What do? They give up the offensive rebound, the score, and the foul. So Grayer an opportunity for the 3-point play. So let's keep our eye on the energy level now of this Magic team. They've fought themselves back into this game to see if they can now get over the top and take the lead.
So we have a 4th guy in this game now with 3 fouls as Turner just picked up his 3rd of the night. 11:30 left in the third. We're just underway. Shaquille O'Neal had 19 points in the first half, backing down Chris Webber, and Webber has to be a little tentative with those 3 fouls.
It's really tough for Chris Webber because he's really not a center. He's a power forward. So, I mean, you look at his size, he's a big man, but besides Shaquille, he looks undersized. So it's going to be a very difficult matchup for him.
Billy Owens kicks it off to Avery Johnson. Johnson will bring it back outside. Johnson in the first half played 13 minutes, had 4 points in the ball game, also 3 assists. Drives in, leans, and Shaquille's picked up his 4th foul.
What I talked to you about, the foul that he committed at the end of that second quarter. Now Brian Hill's got a decision. If he takes Shaquille out, he'll have to sit now for almost 11 minutes. If he leaves him in, he runs the risk of it getting his 5th foul. So right now, Brian Hill's got a major decision, and this is a difference between being an assistant coach and a head coach. As an assistant, you whisper in someone's ear about what you think they should do, and as a head coach, you've got to pull the trigger.
The suggestions become your decisions.
That's right. And they're the ones then you got to talk to the press afterwards where, hey, coach, that was a great decision leaving him in. He didn't pick up his 5th. Or, hey, coach, why did you leave him in there? He got his 5th foul.
You sounds a little familiar to you.
I've been there.
By the way, Shaquille last year committed 321 fouls. That was the 3rd most in the NBA. 60-56 account, a 4-point lead now for Golden State. They've led by as many as 16. Hardaway on a nice pass from Shaquille. The body control of Penny Hardaway, something to see.
What I like there, he cut to the basket. He didn't stand out on the perimeter.
Weber kicks it out to Billy Owens. Owens with a jumper. They've got to have those shots as Nick Anderson comes down to the rebound. Here comes Scott Skiles.
See, Nick Anderson's got to get involved in this game, too. He's a great offensive player.
He had 6 points in the first half. Johnson missing. Anderson for the ball game now is 3 of 5. Weber inside, and they're going to call a foul on Weber. That's his 4th. So Weber and Shaquille O'Neal now have 4 fouls each.
Offensive foul on number 4, Chris Webber.
Let's look at Hardaway first. These two #1 draft picks, and then we'll pick up Weber.
Drops the ball into the post. He didn't stand. He cut to the basket. The double team. He gets it back. Now here Chris Weber makes a nice move. He's got Nick Anderson. He doesn't need the spin. He just needs to go up and take the shot. That spin cost him his 4th foul. So now Don Nelson is going to stay with Weber with 4, and Shaquille has sit down. So right now is the opportunity for Golden State. They've got to push out this lead. They've got to give themselves some distance to force Brian Hill to either bring Shaquille in or try to have a big 4th quarter.
So Kite comes in for Shaquille, picks up his 2nd foul, and that's off the glass to Weber. That was a pass.
That's a set play. When you get fronted, Don Nelson throws the ball off, has his team throw the ball off the glass, and the guy goes up, so he actually has inside position. I saw them do that 3 times last week against Houston.
Penny Hardaway backing in, and a lot of traffic, has it ripped away by Weber, and then Hardaway commits a foul. Chris Weber, a little bit disgusted about that foul a while ago, rips the ball away on this play.
And watch the play. Weber is being fronted by Kite. Look where the weak side is. There's no help. You throw it off the glass, and he's right there. It's passing off the backboard. That's a great play, and Golden State does it very, very well. You might see Weber make that pass later to Owens.
Chris Weber with 6 points, now going for 7 and 8, and he's fouled, and he's wearing out Greg Kite inside. As Kite has picked up his 3rd foul.
See, now the pendulum has swung now back to Golden State. They have a 4-point lead. Shaquille is sitting down. Chris Weber getting actively involved in the game. Now you're looking at Orlando and you say, where are they going to go? You've got Nick Anderson, who's a scorer, and you've got Anthony Hardaway. You would expect those guys now to be the offense. Greg Kite is an offensive rebounder. Jeff Turner is a spot-up shooter. Brian Hill might have to go back to a Bowie or a Dennis Scott or whatever, someone that can give him some offense out on the perimeter.
Nick Anderson with the rebound. Weber's also been working on his free throw shooting, even though he's shooting only 58%. Nelly thinks maybe year 2 or 3 he'll get the free throw things taken care of.
Well, he's a guy like Shaquille. He has gigantic hands, and I think that makes it very, very difficult to be a great shooter.
Scott Skiles from outside. His shot not really going tonight. He's now 1 of 4. 63-58. They had it cut to 2, and Owens makes it a 65-58 game. So they had it 60-58 at one time. And now we're going to have a timeout by Brian Hill. So when he took Shaquille O'Neal out of there, all of a sudden Golden State went on another spurt, and they lead it by 7.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by GMC Truck, the strength of experience, and by Champion, proud to make all the uniforms and practice wear for all the teams in the NBA. It takes a little more to make a champion.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh no, it's Ted from accounting.
Introducing the all-new GMC Sonoma. We've packed everything we know into this one, Sonoma from GMC Truck.
Inside Stuff is serving it up with All-Star Joe Dumars and NBA Legends past and present.
The next Jim Courier.
Return to Detroit with Derek Coleman as he hosts My Old House and enjoys some good home cooking.
And this is Mama's baby.
We're jamming till the jamming's through on Inside Stuff, Saturday.
Now that's the inside stuff.
65-58, Golden State with the lead. And now let's take a look at tonight's GMC Truck scoreboard as we look at other action throughout the NBA. Washington 96-82. Charlotte, the leading scoring team in the NBA. Atlanta has won 4 in a row, trying to make it 5 in a row at halftime. And Dallas, well, they've been struggling. They've lost 5 in a row. They're 1 and 8. And Houston trying to go to 10 and 0. 51-40, and they would try to become the 10th team to go 10-0.
There's Larry Kostrowiak. Stress reaction in his foot on the injured list. Will be out at least 5 ball games.
Boy, they miss his toughness and rebounding. Had to start Jeff Turner tonight. Nick Anderson turnaround. Maybe that's what you're talking about, Doug. Getting Nick Anderson started in this ball game. He now has 8 points.
Well, Nick Anderson is saying, look, Jeff Greer can't play me. You got to come through me, and I'll either get a shot for myself or I'll create one for someone else. There's that play off the backboard now. And that time Weber was going to throw the ball to Billy Owens.
And Turner was inside holding. That's his 4th foul.
They're already in the penalty, Gary, so 8 minutes and 39 seconds. Golden State shooting free throws the rest of this quarter. So you don't want to rely on outside jump shots. You want to tack inside either with the dribble penetration or the post-ups. Either get something going to the basket or get a nice perimeter outside shot, but you don't want to just come down and settle for quick jump shots.
Well, Golden State, as we mentioned, is a team shooting only 66% from the free throw line. Owens has 11 points and 7 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting for maybe that triple-double. We got a lot of ways to go. You had 8:39 to go in the 3rd.
Well, I guess being a poor free throw shooting team is not always beneficial to getting a penalty, but it is so important to get to that line. Here's the post up now again by Nick Anderson.
So he's gone inside twice, and both times he's come away with a basket. So they try to get him involved. Anderson can really scorch it. He had a 50-point game last year as well as a 42-point game for Orlando.
See, Nick Anderson is very comfortable down there with his back to the basket. He has a quick release. He reminds me a little bit of Bernard King inside with that quick release on his jump shot. And they're going to need him to score points for this team you have on the floor right now. I talked about it before, but really only Hardaway and Anderson. So Hardaway can shoot the ball from outside or drive, and you can post Nick Anderson, maybe even free up Skiles or Turner for an outside shot. But I think you've got to go through Nick Anderson.
Greer committed the foul a moment ago. That was his 3rd. And inside, a nice pass from Sprewell. Owen stays after. Chris Webber puts it up. Good hustle. They stayed with it, and they got the basket. 68-63 Golden State.
But Chris Webber has great hands, Gary. I talk about a young player. This kid can really catch the ball. And
away from the ball, Greer tangled up with Anderson. He was holding him, so Jeff Greer's picked up 2 fouls.
They're going to have to change that matchup, but what they're going to have to do is as soon as the ball goes into Nick Anderson, they're going to have to double team immediately. But watch Webber in a crowd. Look at him. Come up with this ball, falling down, make the shot off the glass.
He has 9 points in the ball game. Owens with 12, 14 for Sprewell. Anderson backing in. Now he's trying to take over the offense with Shaquille out of there. Beautiful pass to Hardaway.
See, the double team creates opportunity. So now Nick Anderson is the focal point of this attack. He scored 7 points. He's found Hardaway for a dunk, so he's contributed the last 9 points.
Billy Owens with the leaner. Tough shot. Tipped out by Avery Johnson. It'll be off of Golden State. So down by 3 now. Orlando with the basketball. 7:32 left in the 3rd.
Got to go right back to Nick Anderson. They have not stopped it. Go right back to it.
Anderson working off the ball, gets open, and he now feels it. He wants the shot, and he's cut it to 1.
So right now, Don Nelson says, okay, I'm going to go to a little bit bigger guy. I'm going to come in with Bushler and give him a different look. Right now, he's lighting up Jeff Greer. I got to change this up.
And Scott Skiles swipes the ball from Avery Johnson. Hardaway eventually tracks it down to Anderson. He missed it. Rebound by Sprewell, and he's fouled by Scott Skiles. Boy, that would have been a beautiful play, and Anderson got that shot to go.
I've seen more alley-oop plays tonight than I've seen all season long. This one goes to Nick Anderson. Now, the importance of being in the penalty is now Sprewell getting fouled in the backcourt will shoot 2 free throws. Here's the alley-oop to Nick Anderson. This is the easiest shot he's had, although it was a spectacular catch. Just couldn't get it up high enough off the board to get it to go in.
And Scott Skiles committed his 3rd foul. Golden State is 13 of 19 now from the stripe. And Sprewell, we mentioned his minutes. He's coming in here averaging 44.9. That's the most in the NBA. Twice he has gone the full 48 minutes.
I think it's important to say that with Sprewell, the reason he's playing heavy minutes like this is I talked to Don Nelson. He says he's going to play heavy minutes because when Mullen comes back, then I can get him a little rest. So it's not going to be the season that he's going to play this kind of minutes. As soon as we get Mullen back, I'll be able to take him out of the ball games.
Back to a 3-point lead now for Golden State, and Bushler now fouls Anderson. They're really having a tough time with Nick Anderson. He has 13 points, and he's carrying them while O'Neal's on the bench.
See Nick Anderson now being played. Now, if the knee goes in right there, once the knee goes between the legs, it's going to be a foul. You can't root the guy out.
Bushler with his 3rd foul. 6:43 left in the third. Anderson backing in on Buechler, and he takes him inside, and that almost is offensive interference. Greg Kite tried to follow. It will be off of Golden State. So Anderson's had 2 shots that just won't go.
Somebody's got to help on Nick Anderson. He's getting into the lane, point-blank shots. They got to double team him before he starts to make his move, force him to be a passer.
Anderson in the first half was relatively quiet as he had 6 points. Now has a total of 13. Skiles with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Tipped up by Hardaway.
Skiles really struggling with his shooting, and now Anthony Hardaway's getting loose underneath. You've seen him with a dunk. You're starting to see Gary a little bit of his versatility now.
So they've cut it to 1. Without Shaquille now, Orlando's outscored Golden State 11-10. Chris Webber baseline. Boy, they were almost ready to call a foul there and did not.
Well, you're right, Gary. Tommy Wood looks like he was going to call the charge.
And blocked beautifully by Sprewell. Hardaway has a block. That's going to be goaltending on Billy Owens. Anthony Hardaway showing his leaping ability.
Sprewell makes a nice block here, but the hustle play by Hardaway, and the ball, the hand is going to go up through the cylinder. You're going to see it right there, and that's where the goaltending was called. So Anthony Hardaway has 4 layups in this quarter for 8 points.
Avery Johnson, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Takes it inside, reverses it. Weber tries to come up with it. Greg Kite instead does. Out it comes to Hardaway. Hardaway playing with some confidence right now.
When you get those layups, all of a sudden, now your offensive game starts to come, because the first half he was 3 for 9.
12 seconds on the shot clock. They back it out. Weber's got to be careful. He reaches in on Anderson. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson puts one up and gets it off the glass. Oh, brother. The Magic with a 74-70 lead. 16 points, a 3-pointer by Nick Anderson. And he's kind of laughing as he goes back defensively.
That looked like the one John Starks made last night in New York.
Owens, a big league move there off the glass.
Starks had 7 3-point shots last night, 7 for 10.
74-72. The Magic were trailed by as many as 16 in this ball game in the first half.
When Nick Anderson really wants the ball.
Doesn't he, though?
Look at him.
Oh, man.
When you bank one, now you come back with another one. So this has been the Nick Anderson show in the third quarter.
Don Nelson's seen enough. He calls timeout.
Here's the bank. Little smile by Nick Anderson. He said, I'll make this one a little bit easier. And he buries another 3. 6 straight points.
This is the all-new GMC Sonoma. There are so many changes that we couldn't tell you about all of them in 30 seconds, so we wrote a book about it. Call 1-800-GMC-TRUCK and check one out. Sonoma from GMC Truck.
Sotoflex. Call now for your free Sotoflex brochure.
Soloflex. For a free brochure, call anytime.
The Magic, led by Nick Anderson, who had 13 points thus far here in the third quarter, taking a 77-72 lead. You had a very interesting point, Doug, during the break. You know, they started out going so much to Shaquille that they really got out of their offense. They've got to get a happy medium somehow.
Yeah, I think what's happening is they're adjusting now to this team. Last year they went to Shaquille, but this year they've gone more to him. And what happens in many instances is you lose some of your other offensive players. Nick Anderson averaging under 12 points a game. And I think you see this guy's an explosive player. So they're going to have to go to him as well as Shaquille and mix it up, not go to him exclusively.
And it comes to Jeff Grayer. Grayer shoots it against Nick Anderson. Doesn't go. Follow tip by Gatling, who just came into the ball game. He does come in and play hard. Owens over the back, gets away with it, and now a loose ball foul. Nope, a jump ball.
You got to really credit this Golden State team, though. They're playing undermanned, and they are really hustling on the boards. I mean, Chris Gatling with a nice effort. You've got Billy Owens. And as you look at this team right now, Golden State is very small and quick, but they can do that because Shaquille is not in the ball game. So Gatling should be able to get some quick hoops, maybe run out on the fast break against Kite. He can't get back with him with that speed.
In this quarter, Orlando shooting 56% to Golden State's 42. And Golden State down by 5 in the rebounding department. They've been out-rebounded 6 of the first 8 games this year. Sprewell, who started fast and really kind of cool off in the second half of play. Inside 4 minutes in the quarter, the Gatling Jennings creates very well there.
When you play Golden State, what you must be able to play is dribble penetration. You've got to be able to guard the ball. They spread you out. They all dribble penetrate, get the defense to collapse and try to get you easy scores. That's what you saw that time with Jennings to Gatling.
Gatling now with 12 points in the ball game. 3:37 to go, third quarter. Magic had trailed all the way and then took a 71-70 lead.
Now you've got Sprewell playing against Nick Anderson. So the third face this quarter going against Nick Anderson.
Greg Kite stays with it after the missed shot by Donald Royal. They have a fresh 24 seconds on the shot clock. That's a 4th rebound for Greg Kite. There's Royal again. He loves to take it inside, and he is fouled. Foul will go on Billy Owens.
The foul number 25, Chris Gatling.
Golden State at their best. Look at the spacing on the floor, Gary. The drive. Now, what's going to happen? Kite steps up. He leaves his feet, and when you leave your feet and commit, that allows the guy to cut to the basket, so his man goes right to the basket. Jennings finds him, and you get the easy score.
And we have a correction. Gatling instead was called for the foul, his 4th, as Royal misses a free throw. You know, Royal hasn't played much. He'd only played in 2 games. As we mentioned, the pneumonia that has really slowed him down. But they were talking about the fact he has as good a first step as anybody they have on this team.
They have missed him, and I think you could see in that second quarter why they've missed him. When you can come in with Bowie and Dennis Scott and Donald Royal, you get some offense, you get some life, and they really got them back into the game with their 15 points in the second quarter when they were down by 15.
Trailed by 2 when Shaquille went out, now trailing by 4, now by 2. Nice spin move inside. Jeff Grayer. Off it comes to Skiles. Skiles will pull it out to Anderson. Why not go to the guy who's got the hot hand?
He wants to back down, though. He wants Kite to clear out of there. He wants to back Sprewell down to the hoop.
And doesn't get it. Rebound by Sprewell. Skiles almost came up with the steal. Jennings off to Owens. The Gatling, nice break down the floor.
That's what I was talking about, Gary. The speed of Gatling. Kite cannot get back with him. So if they will rebound the ball, Gatling can get some easy scores at the other end. Kite just does not have that kind of leg or foot speed.
We're even at 78. Skiles inside, tries to reverse. Gatling came over now. Gatling has 4 fouls. Let's see who they call this one on.
I think it's going to be Chris Gatling.
It is. That's his 5th. 5th foul on Chris Gatling.
Jennings ahead to Billy Owens, who has a layup, but he gives it up unselfishly to Chris Gatling, who's the recipient of a nice fast break by Golden State. Scott Skiles at the line, and he makes his 3rd free throw of the night. He has not shot the ball well. He's 1 for 6 from the field, but 3 for 3 from the free throw line now.
This is Josh Grant, a guy who was the 2nd-round draft pick of Denver, then was traded over to the Nuggets for Darnell Mee, and had a pretty good game a few nights ago, 12 points and 7 rebounds. So he replaces Gatling and sits down with 5 fouls.
See, Josh Grant played for Rick Majerus at Utah, who was a very good friend of Don Nelson and one of his coaches at one point in time. So that's how that connection comes about.
And he said he's very fundamentally sound, giving Rick Majerus a lot of credit. That's blocked nicely.
Nick Anderson.
Yep, Anderson playing well at both ends now. Skiles on the move. Less than 2 to go now in this 3rd quarter.
Oh, nice pass.
Donald Royal in the lane, shooting it over Billy Owens.
That was a nice pass by Scott Skiles. Look away pass.
82-78. The lead enjoyed now by Orlando. They trail by 16 in the first half. Baseline move, and that is going to count, but it's going to be a charge.
Oh, they're going to, Don Nelson's liable to get a technical on this one. We talked about this to Don Nelson today, and he said, you know, he's seen more flopping in the NBA where guys are going to the basket. It used to be guys going after shot blocks, and he said now guys are stepping in on the basket almost like college and taking offensive fouls. Here we go again. You see this right there. There's Donald Royal taking the charge. Wow. But he said there's a lot of that going on. Not many guys looking to block shots. There's an illegal defense by Greer.
Going to have a foul called as well. Going to have a holding foul inside. That basket, of course, was wiped out. Now we have one guy indicating illegal defense and one saying a foul. So what do we have here?
We'll have to see. They're going to have a little committee meeting here, and they'll see which one preceded the other one. If the foul came first, it'll be 2 free throws. If not, it'll be an illegal defense. 1 free throw taken, and then the ball out of bounds for Golden State.
Well, Tommy Wood had the foul. Now what do we got here?
Tommy Wood was thinking it was an offensive foul, so he was confused, thinking the ball should go to Orlando.
I don't understand this, Doug. The foul was on Anderson, is what they're saying now. And Brian Hill, we're as confused as you are. Let's go back and look at it again. There's Anderson. You see he with Sprewell. Well, there's a foul there. And that's what it is. So here comes Sprewell at the other end. Rebound is cleared by Hardaway. 4-point lead now for the Magic. Scott Skiles. Nice head fake by Skiles, and he hits it.
Well, that was a beautiful shot fake by Scott Skiles. Got Sprewell off his feet.
84-78. Less than a minute to go now in the third. Jennings, a 3 from outside. Tipped up by Greer. Look at Sprewell track this down. He is really hustling. Off it comes to Owens. Baseline shot. Still not there. Greer hustles the boards. Gets it off nicely to Josh Grant, and he puts it up and in.
Now, that was a big basket, Gary. That cuts it to 4. Now, if Golden State can stop the Magic here and score, you're going to have a 2-point game into the fourth quarter. So instead of maybe pushing it to 8 with a defensive rebound, they can cut it to 2.
You're looking at the game clock. There's 9 seconds on the shot clock. Out it comes to Anderson. Anderson, look at that. Beautiful move. Greer brings it out. 14 seconds left in the quarter. Sprewell's got time to load it up, and he wasn't even close. And that makes you wonder if those minutes starting to take a little toll on him. Up it comes, and that's out of control. Jeff Turner traveling with the basketball.
See, I think with Sprewell, when you look at his last shot, Gary, okay, it was like the shot clock was turned off. Rather than to take that 3 and you give the Magic another chance, you hold for the last shot, you go in either down 4 or maybe down 2, but now they've given the Magic a shot, although there was a foul.
Yeah, they call a foul on Turner. That's his 4th. He traveled and fouled, and out it comes to Turner, and Turner puts up one, and kind of a shaky end of this third quarter, huh? But look at Nick Anderson. He wasn't shaky. 19 points, 13 here in the third. And Orlando enjoys a 4-point lead as we go to quarter number 4.
Hi, everybody.
Dave, we're all worried.
About what?
You haven't ordered your holiday ham from my store.
Or the cookies I made for you.
Or your turkey.
Or your eggnog. Or your fruitcake. Yeah, what gives?
Nothing. Wendy's is making a new Big Bacon Classic Combo.
Oh.
It's a quarter-pounder fresh beef, 3 strips of bacon, and the works with Biggie fries and a cold drink. So this holiday, save your appetite.
And I thought you forgot my prune tart.
Who could forget that?
Try Wendy's Big Bacon Classic Combo today.
You use whatever it takes. Leather, lumber, steel, even the cage. NHL 94 for Sega Genesis and Super NES. One-timers, goalie control, and goalies out of control. If it's in the game, EA Sports. It's in the game.
At GMC Truck, we've built a reputation for truck strengths. A considerable advantage. It also comes in this handy take-home size. Sierra from GMC Truck.
Boy, oh boy, have we got you covered. Your favorite styles and new cool comfort too. Make no mistake, you're really gonna love it. Just wait till we get our hands on you.
Now Hanes introduces Cool Comfort Briefs to keep you cooler all day long.
Just wait till we get our hands on you.
Back to Orlando in a moment, but first to Atlanta, where the Hawks have moved into a first-place tie in the Central Division. Dominique Wilkins, the hot hand, 28 points, a dozen rebounds. Atlanta over the Lakers, 103-94. The Lakers start out 0-5 on the road. That win by Atlanta, coupled with Charlotte's loss, a big loss, in Washington, 118-98. Charlotte, Atlanta now tied in that division. Let's go back to Gary Bender and Doug Collins.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Well, Doug, we kept a note as to when Shaquille O'Neal went out of the ball game.
I like this better, though. This was the way you get your money home at night, Gary. This is the Gary Bender promotion right here. Just stuffing it in bags and carrying it home.
Oh.
That looks like your briefcase when you came with me
I
tonight.
learned that from you. You used to bury it in tin cans in the backyard. What I started to say before I was rudely interrupted there was Shaquille went out. They were trailing 60-58, so they picked up 6 points while he was out of there.
Hardaway made 4 layups. He had 8 points in the quarter, played well, and then Nick Anderson 13 points of his 19. So they went to him, and he really did a nice job.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Shaquille has 21 points in the game. Here comes Weber with the rebound. Weber playing with 4 fouls. Up to Jennings. He's hammered. Anthony Bowie is there to commit the foul. Well, let's look ahead, and everybody will be interested to see this one next Tuesday from Chicago, the Suns and Bulls. And, of course, they went after it in the NBA Finals last year. Bob Neal and Hubie Brown bringing you all the action. Phoenix, who has a game against Denver and Utah before they head into the Windy City. They've won 3 in a row. 84-80 as we are at the 11:26 mark of the fourth quarter. Baseline, nice spin move by Owens and a follow tip.
And a nice pass by Chris Webber. Webber, an excellent passer. I think the things that stand out to me for when you look at him are his great hands and his passing ability. We know he can run the floor and score around the basket, but this young man can really pass the ball.
16 points a game for Billy Owens. Shaquille leans in, gets it off the glass. Shaquille O'Neal with 23 points now in the ball game to go with 6 rebounds. Inside, intended for Billy Owens. Donald Royal tipped it out, and Weber with those long arms, and then saved by Bowie. What a gift that was.
Well, that's what hustle will do. Anthony Bowie, Donald Royal, the guys that helped turn the game around in the second quarter. And here's Bowie once again.
Jennings missing a 3. No look pass on Hardaway, and all of a sudden a little spurt. And Don Nelson saying, let's slow this thing down. It's gotten away from us.
Well, look what they've got on the floor. Basically 4 guards, Bowie, Royal, Skiles, and Hardaway, and Shaquille O'Neal. So they've matched the small lineup, and they've got Shaquille inside. So this has to go the edge to Golden State. 2 turnovers in a row by Jennings, forcing tough passes. And I think you're going to see Avery Johnson come in and give him a little bit of a rest.
He also missed a 3 from outside. He had the right idea, but he led Weber too far. And so the turnover gives it back to Orlando. They have their biggest lead of the game, 8.
Remember now, Golden State's a team that's not as explosive offensive. They're averaging 96 points a game.
Into Bowie. Josh Grant tried to front him, and Billy Owens comes out there. Billy Owens has played very hard tonight. He's done some things very well. 16 points and 9 rebounds, and they get it to Weber.
See what happens. You can't, when you're Golden State, it used to be you're a team that could really come back from large deficits. Now, when you have such a tough time scoring, you can't let the game slip away from you. They're now back to 6-point deficit.
That's where Chris Mullin would help, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes.
Hardaway outside. Sprewell trying to split the difference defensively. They double on O'Neal. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Out it comes to Bowie. Bowie outside, and that didn't hit anything. Out it comes to Chris Webber. He almost traveled, and he did. He was looking up the court. He was going to make a pass, and then he traveled to the ball. And for the first time now coming to the ball game is Dell Demps, who they just signed this week, a rookie out of Pacific. So Demps is in. He is number 20. Golden State now had only 1 turnover in the first half. They've had 9 since. And Hardaway from outside.
See those layups? He was 3 for 9 in the first half. Couldn't get a jumper to go. He had 5 layups in the second half. His only outside shot is a pull-up 3. That's why you cannot let players who are struggling from the perimeter get easy scores.
Avery Johnson kicks it out to Sprewell. 9 seconds. That's a tough shot. Saved by Weber. Avery Johnson rolls across the lane. They needed that basket. 93-86, 8:52 remaining in the game. Well, you're talking about Hardaway. He has 19 points in this ball game, 6 rebounds, and he's going to get one of those triple doubles one of these nights. There's a traveling call. Go back to Hardaway, showing his range from outside.
Well, this is a confident shot. He goes right up in rhythm, no hesitation. Beautiful three-point shot. He shot that very easily, so you can see that he has NBA three-point range. A lot of college players coming in, that shot's a little too deep for him. It takes him about 2 years to get comfortable being able to make that shot.
He was averaging 11-2 coming in, so he's well above his seasonal average. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Avery Johnson takes Skiles in. Nice shot, and Johnson now has scored 2 baskets for Golden State. 93-88. Hardaway will back it out. Then it goes to Shaquille. Almost traveled. Got it back out to Skiles. Skiles with a 3. He's just not shooting the ball confidently. Hardaway, beautiful pass to Royal. They overpassed it there.
When we talked to Don Nelson today, he said, remember Skiles is the guy that you would never leave. He said, you know, this year with his shoulder problem and he's been hitting the neck, we might have to make him prove that he can make some shots. He's shooting under 40% on the season, and tonight he's 2 for 8. Both of them medium-range jump shot. Has not hit a long-range jumper at all. So it might come down to Scott Skiles having to make some deep shots for Orlando to hold on.
Weber almost throws this one away. Both teams have 10 turnovers. Sprewell running one-handed. Boy, they've had some difficult shots in the lane. Owens forces it in. Billy Owens has stepped forward in the second half. He has 18 points in the game.
Quietly, it's a 3-point game once again, so Golden State is not going anywhere. Orlando's going to have to make some plays to win this game.
Boy, Billy Owens a different player this year. He's healthy. His legs are coming back, and what a difference that can make. Shaquille got in so low. Wasn't a pretty shot. Didn't have any arch, but he got it in there.
Well, he also, Weber's in foul trouble, so he cannot commit his 5th foul. He'd have to sit down, and there's still too much time to go in the game. So maybe in the last 3 minutes, you're going to see Nelson start to double team and force Shaquille to be the passer.
Nice spin move that time by Demps, and then he traveled with it. Go back on that last play that Shaquille took Chris Webber inside.
Well, I'd like to see him get up over on the left shoulder and turn him away from the basket. When you let him inside, it's a 5-foot shot. Make him turn outside and shoot the 10-foot fadeaway jump shot. Shaquille way too strong once he muscles inside.
He has 25 points. His average is 29.8. He's had a 42 and a 41-point game. Hardaway ducking inside on Demps. Kicks it out to Skiles. You can see Skiles really doesn't want that shot right now. Now he's going to pass it inside to Shaquille. Nice give and go. Can't get it. Rebound is cleared by Weber. Nick Anderson reaches in and bats it away. He needs to give it up.
You're exactly right. 2 turnovers in a row.
To Anderson.
See, Weber's got to give that ball up, Gary. He's a very good ball handler, but in the NBA, guys are going to come in from behind you. And he's going to have to give that ball up and be a lane runner. Get his tail down the floor and then him be the one to post up.
Skiles is 2 for 9 for the field, but that was a great hustle effort on his part, setting up that last play. 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Now, Weber looks like he's getting a little tired,
too. He does. Heading 2, and
that's another turnover. So that's 3 turnovers. Remember now, Weber has not practiced much, and I think that his conditioning right now is costing him.
What time is it? Game time! The Suns have a score to settle with the Bulls. Wait a minute! Revenge is sweet, say it Barkley. Suns versus Bulls, next Tuesday on TNT.
No bullet could kill him. No army could capture him. From TNT comes a new motion picture, Geronimo, the legend as never before told. Premieres Sunday, December 5th on TNT.
You see how quickly he got up in the air and how high.
Oh, it floats high into the air.
When most manufacturers develop a new truck, they start with a model. Good idea. Here's ours. Introducing the first and only family of trucks designed from the inside out. A design that starts with you and has become the all-new Chevy S-Series. Everything else is history.
Here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. 3 blocks each.
Well, I think the interesting thing is the Warriors have 16 offensive rebounds, which kept them alive. Billy Owens, Gatling, Weber have done a nice job on the offensive boards. And what we're seeing in this fourth period is a tired Chris Weber, although he only played 13 minutes in the first half. Here's a turnover right here where a guy comes in from behind him trying to do a little bit too much with the basketball. And this is just a tired play here. He goes in the air, he gets a double team, he comes down. And you know, it's really not Chris Weber's fault. He's had an appendectomy, he's had a sprained ankle, he's had a sore knee, so he really hasn't had the practice time. And I don't care how long you ride an exercise bicycle. That's what I do now to broadcast a game. You've got to get out and run up and down the floor. So the one thing I said about Chris Weber in college, and I feel this sincerely, is that he's going to have to get himself in much better physical condition to play this game because it's a much faster tempo.
And he's not used to banging bodies with guys like Shaquille O'Neal. We come back into the action. Chris Gatling has replaced Chris Weber as we have 5:45 left in the game. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Good ball rotation. They want Anderson to put up a 3. Rebound is cleared by Billy Owens. Owens now has 11 rebounds and 18 points. Sprewell been very quiet in the second half after starting so effectively in the ball game. Sprewell from the corner doesn't get it. Skiles with a rebound.
Well, Sprewell is now 6 for 19 in the ball game after getting off to an excellent start.
Yeah, he had, what, 5 of his first 7 shots.
He was 6 for 13 in the first half, so he's 0 for 6 in this half.
Shaquille takes Gatling inside. Gatling, of course, in foul trouble with 5, and he did all he could do, but that wasn't enough.
See, now I think it's important. You go to Shaquille inside, you get him some baskets. Then you don't forget Nick Anderson. You maybe run something for him, and I think that's what Brian Hill is going to have to be able to do to diversify his attack a little bit.
Owens with a running one-hander. Gatling tried to follow. Hardaway, no-look pass. Skiles retrieves it, and he's bumped and fouled by Sprewell. You know, I think a lot of Golden State players look tired right now. Sprewell looks a little tired. Owens.
You know, as Shaquille gets tired, I know this is going to sound crazy, I think he becomes a better post player. And the reason I say that is because he doesn't get in such a hurry. He takes his time. And when he's fresh, he sometimes gets so excited to post a guy up, he takes quick shots, as we saw in the first quarter. As he has settled down a little bit in this game and gotten to a better rhythm, he has been a much better and more effective low post player.
10 points now for Skiles to go with 10 assists. Interesting point. Get a little hyper maybe early.
You get excited and you know you got a mismatch and you want to take advantage of it so quickly that you don't ever let it just materialize.
Now Owens pushed off as he tried to position himself for the pass, and Royal was dead.
You're starting to see the frustration now, Gary, of Golden State. Realizing now that Orlando has made its push to get up 11. Billy Owens played nice defensively there by Donald Royal. So Royal has played a very, very important part in this win if Orlando's able to hold on.
Second foul against Owens. Biggest lead of the ball game right now. An 11-point lead for this Orlando team. Anderson off the glass.
See, now I like it. You post up Shaquille, you come down, you give Nick Anderson a little piece. Now you move it around so they just can't load up in one area on what you want to do.
23 for Anderson, 27 for Shaquille, 19 for Hardaway. Good balance scoring from the corner. Dell Demps, air ball. O'Neal with the rebound. Boy, Skiles wanted to go to Hardaway. Instead, ends up with the ball, and now they're on a 10-0 run. 105-90, biggest lead of the game, and Don Nelson may have run out of anything he can do in this ball game. Orlando led by Anderson.
The new Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
You know you need life insurance to protect the family you love. We know the way things go, it's hard to find the money to pay the premiums. You know you've got to do it, and we know we can help you. To protect your family's future security, many financial advisors recommend insurance coverage equal to 5 times your annual income. Wait, before you say, I can't afford that, look into this money-saving offer from Garden State Life Insurance. If you're in good health and don't smoke cigarettes, Garden State Life can offer you quality term life insurance that may save you as much as 50% off what you're paying for term life insurance protection. Garden State Life guarantees your premiums remain the same for 8, 10, even 20 years to come. So if you need $25,000 to $1 million or more of quality life insurance protection, call today. 800-421-2000 for this free information package and confidential coverage proposal. Garden State Life Insurance, 800-421-2000, 421-2000.
Gary, I think we can see by this little graphic right here what's happened to the Warriors. They were +8 in the first quarter, great start, but look how they've worn down as the game has gone on. Magic +7 in the second, +5 in the third without Shaquille O'Neal, and now +11 in the fourth. So basically Orlando has sort of imposed their will as the game has gone on.
Shaquille O'Neal with 8 points in the second half. We mentioned at the start of this broadcast, he's had the biggest impact in the NBA since Michael Jordan. He's on the front of GQ, also on the front of Rolling Stone, and also has his own hit CD. And let's listen. Well, are you a pretty good rapper, Doug? Can you do that?
No, I have to call down and talk to my son to get those lyrics.
27 points and 7 rebounds, and he got into the foul difficulty. And while he was out of there, his teammates more than held their own. They added 6 points.
See, you know, but I think Brian Hill is still learning about his team, and I think what he saw tonight is going to give him greater insight into when Shaquille went out, exactly what Nick Anderson could do for this team with the different looks that you have, and I think it's going to help him in the long run.
Anderson with 17 points in the second half. There it is, backdoor. Sprewell couldn't come up with it. Weber trying to do the backdoor alley-oop to Hardaway, saves it to Royal. Boy, that's pretty. That is pretty. What a play by Penny Hardaway to save it.
Are you seeing Hardaway and his confidence grow as this game is going on? In the first half, he put a lot of pressure on himself. You know, he heard all the boos here during draft day that they made the trade. And watch this gorgeous pass, left hand, and he finds Donald Royal, who's slashing to the basket. And Anthony Hardaway getting very excited here, making some beautiful plays. And Chris Webber has struggled tonight. There's at least 4 turnovers in this half that he has made. And Anthony Hardaway has made some wonderful passes.
5 assists for Hardaway. That was the 6th foul on Chris Gatling, so he fouls out with 14 points. So Hardaway, look at his numbers, 5 assists, 19 points in the ball game. Anderson with 23, as we mentioned, 17 of those in the second half. Shaquille with 27, 12 for Skiles. So very good balanced scoring.
And again, I want to tell you that Donald Royal's energy and Anthony Bowie and Dennis Scott, their second quarter when Orlando was sleepwalking, really has put them in a position to win this game.
Good point. 9 points in the game for Royal. Here's Weber. Weber's been very quiet, but he explodes that time. Chris Webber showing that quickness. He's going to be something to watch.
Yeah, he's going to be a tremendous
unfold.
player. You imagine healthy Tim Hardaway next year with a Marciulionis and with a Chris Mullen, where now you're going to free him up to do a lot of other things.
That was his first field goal in the last 5 minutes. 3 minutes left in the game, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Into Shaquille. Weber with 4 fouls trying to stop Shaquille, and Shaquille the jumper.
That's what you got to turn him away and make him be a jump shooter.
Sprewell has a tough time tracking the ball down. Out to Judd Bushler, a 3. Got it. 108-95, 2:41 left in the ball game. Donald Royal off to Skiles. Royal has a real good vision of the floor. He really seems to space himself well. In there, intended for Shaquille, stolen by Bushler. Off it comes to Avery Johnson. And Johnson's going to be fouled by Scott Skiles.
No basket. Foul number 4, Scott Skiles.
Skiles with his 4th. Coming up next on TNT, before he became Hollywood's #1 star, he had to work out. Arnold Schwarzenegger stars with Sally Field and Jeff Bridges in TNT's post-game movie, Stay Hungry. You mean he wasn't born with those muscles? 108.95. Bushler again, another three. Weber rips it down and brings it out. Judd will try another one, and he's now 2 of 3 in the last 35 seconds of this game.
See, now Orlando has had a very strong effort. They don't want to fall asleep and limp in here with the win. They want to finish this game strong.
Grant trying to reach around on Anderson. Tried to take some time off the clock, 1:50 remaining. Hardaway ducking inside, kicks it out to Skiles, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Skiles fights through the double team, rebound by Owens, outlet pass to Avery Johnson, and the Warriors haven't given up in this ball game by any stretch of the imagination.
That's what I'm talking about. You want to execute, and this is where Orlando's got to continue to grow. They're a young team. They went from 21 wins to 41 wins. To get to the elite, you want to put this game away.
And all of a sudden now, their lead has been cut to 9.
Without you, they'd never make it down this mountain. Horses don't show much appreciation, but a job well done still has its rewards.
Anti-lock brakes. It's like this little computer keeps your brakes from locking up.
And it helps you to maintain control.
All-wheel drive is if the back wheels are spinning, then the torque or the power goes to the front wheels.
To give you more traction on taking off.
The airbag, upon impact, pops out like a balloon. Psst,
bang!
Push, push, and poof. All these safety features come standard on every Chevy Astro all-wheel drive van for all the best reasons.
For 74 years, we've never missed a practice. From high school to the pros, Champion is the choice of America's teams.
To 99 right now. Golden State on a 9-3 run in the last 2 minutes. They've cut it to 9, and it was Nick Anderson's 17 points in the second half, 23 for the game, that has really led this Orlando team tonight. As we have for the 124th time a consecutive sellout here at the Orlando Arena. Both teams with 2 full timeouts. They have the 22nd timeouts remaining, and each with 1 foul to give. Hardaway along with Anderson, Skiles, O'Neal, and Royal, as it's Owens, Sprewell, Chris Weber, Keith Jennings is in, and Judd Bushler, who's hit 2 threes here in the last 2 minutes of play. Hardaway, and he's fouled by Bushler. Bushler reaching around.
Foul number 35, Judd Bushler.
Bushler with his 4th personal foul. They had a foul to give, so on the far side now, Hardaway will inbounds as now Josh Grant will be coming into the ball game. And Chris Weber will check out. 1:33 left in this one. Grant now trying to guard Shaquille O'Neal, and he comes out, he commits a foul. So they're going to try to get him to the line, hope he misses, and get down to the other end.
Well, the thing I don't like about this is Shaquille is your worst free throw shooter that you have. You know, I don't like throwing the ball in bounds to him. I think that the guy throwing the ball in bounds has got to have more patience, and you got to get it into Skiles or Hardaway or Royal or Nick Anderson, somebody other than Shaquille. Now, he might go up and make these 2 free throws, which is great, but I still think that when you play the percentages, that's the guy you want to foul.
He was 3 of 4 before that one. Well, that's the reason they got Grant in there to foul, and they brought Weber right back. So he's back into the game. 1:31 left. We have a 9-point game, and now a 10-point lead by Orlando. Jennings, they need to get a shot off quickly. Sprewell has a block by Nick Anderson. Skiles a little bump pass forward. Anderson couldn't keep up with it, and back it comes to Keith Jennings. Jennings with a three. Just hasn't gone for it. Sprewell followed up.
I think that's Sprewell's first field goal of the second half.
And you're exactly right. That's 18 points. He had 16 of those in the first half. Keith Jennings fouling at the other end to stop the clock with 1:11 left. 109-101. Orlando trying to pick up this victory here. It would give them at home a 4-1 record and 6-4 on the year.
Still searching. They're still searching to find out who they are, trying to get a personality. They got to get a little more defensive consistency, not let their offense dictate how well they play defense, but just the other way around, to have their defense create opportunities for their offense. They have a shot blocker in Shaquille. They have excellent perimeter people in Nick Anderson, Anthony Hardaway, Skiles, Dennis Scott, Bowie, Donald Royal. The one hole is going to be the rebounding, and can they piece together Greg Kite, Bristowiak, Jeff Turner at that 4 spot, and will they be good enough to bring them into the elite and the upper echelon of this NBA?
So Royal hits both of those free throws. He's an 82% free throw shooter last year. Owens from outside at 3. Sprewell to rebound. They'll kick it out again. Owens will try another 3. Rebound by Anderson. Less than a minute, and then Anderson is fouled as he goes up the floor. Well, you look at this Orlando team. They were 41-41 last year. They missed the playoffs on a tiebreaker. Indiana got in last year. That's a 20-win jump. That was quite a jump, but still not enough to get them there last year.
Well, I think when you look at it, too, because of what happened last year, they've changed now the lottery system. Not the lottery system, excuse me, but the tiebreaker system. If there is a tie, rather than to go points, the Magic missed the playoffs last year by 5 points. And 5 points, think about this, Gary. I know as much as they would like to have played in the playoffs, 5 points got them Anthony Hardaway and 3 #1 draft picks.
Not a bad consolation prize, is it? Jennings still can't hit that outside shot. Rebound by Anderson. Sprewell goes for the steal. 49 seconds left. Skiles, and he'll be fouled by Jennings. Now they have this new system now. What is it? It's against playoff teams, the competition against it.
When it goes to the Western Conference, if you're in the Eastern, the tiebreaker then goes over the Western Conference rather than head-to-head against each other points. They were tied down to the head-to-head tiebreaker with points.
Right.
And Indiana had 5 more points against Orlando than Orlando did. So as a result, they end up with Anthony Hardaway and 3 #1 draft picks.
So Shaquille will come out of the ball game. Weber was taken out earlier. Shaquille with 28 points in the ball game. At the line is Skiles. Skiles for the night with 13 points and 10 assists. So Shaquille got into foul trouble, had to sit down for some time. Came back very strong though in this ball game. And what was it? First 8 field goals, 5 of them were dunks tonight.
Well, he had all those alley-oops, and again, you know, if I'm coaching against Shaquille, I'm trying to push him away from the basket, never let him reverse me, and try to make him do everything, turning away from the basket, or at least making shots and making moves.
The Hardaway. All the things I've seen tonight, I think Hardaway has maybe been the most impressive. I've seen some tape of him, but he's looked awfully good tonight. I mean, he's starting to come on to the player they thought he was going to be.
He reminds me of a young player that I coached, Scottie Pippen, in that you're not going to be able to gauge him by how many points he scored. He's an excellent defender, and he's going to throw up like 17, 18 points, 7 or 8 assists, 6 or 7 rebounds, a couple steals, give you good defense, create opportunities on the floor. He's going to get better and better and better as this year goes on.
Let's go back to the slam by Penny Hardaway. Now with 21 points for the night. His confidence starting to build. As we mentioned, he's played better on the road than at home, but he's kind of put that behind him now. As Hardaway averaging 11.2. His high was 20 points, so that's a career high for him tonight,
well,
21.
Again, Brian Hill talked to him. He said, Anthony, it's nice that you want to fit in here, but we're not paying you $65 million to fit in. We're paying you $65 million to be assertive and to come out and make things happen, and he's starting to do that. And now again, this is a very, very young team, this Orlando team, and they're going to get better as the season goes on. But when we talked to Brian Hill today, the consistency there defensively is what's going to have to take them there, because you win NBA championships with defense. They have enough offensive firepower They just got to be able to consistently do it on the defense, and the big question is, do they have enough help on the front line to get it done?
Hardaway with his 21 points has 7 rebounds and 5 assists, and he's used really good judgment in this ball game. Well, Golden State came in here 3-5. This is the first game of a 4-game road trip. It'll extend through 7 days. They're at Miami tomorrow night, 76ers on Friday, Detroit on Sunday, and Orlando plays at Washington on Saturday. Washington's pretty hot right now.
Yes, they were. They played well last Friday night in Charlotte and sort of faded in the last 6 minutes of that ball game. But they come out tonight and score 118 and hold Charlotte to 98, beat them by 20.
Winding down, less than 5 seconds to go. Avery Johnson will put it up and in, and with 1.4 seconds, it's a 120 to 107 game. Orlando with the victory. They are 6-4. So after that 3-0 start, losing 4 of their last 6, they are glad to get this homestand started right here with a victory tonight. Final score once again, 120 to 107. Orlando defeating Golden State. And our Budweiser player of the game is Nick Anderson. We talked about his second half. He came on so strong, especially in that third quarter. He ends up with 24 points, 18 in the second half, 10 of 17 for the field. And
About me.
My car. My name is Judith Ricewig, and I'm a third grade. You